Welcome back, guys. It's Kidsman Playground here. Today we're back for another video in Scratch, and today we'll be working on the 7th part of the Hero War game. So if you haven't checked out the previous parts, it's also on our channel, and it will be in the video description below. So all the parts before the 7th part. And also, if you have any problems with our game, you can check out my account, Gumball098, and I have a project over there, Hero War game, and you can check the code and see what you have wrong. So today we're going to try to code the second boss. So first, let's drag almost all of the scripts from the siege monster to that one. So the old one, let's just drag this one. Let's drag this one. Let's drag this one. Let's drag this one. This one. This one. And this one. Alright, we actually don't need this one because this one's to summon peons and the old one does not summon peons. So we have these 6 pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is check what the siege monster HP is. It's the old one, siege monster HP. So let's rename this variable to the old one HP. The old one HP. So it'll hide variable the old one HP. Yeah. So when I receive, we're going to change this to new message, old one spawn. It'll set the old one HP to 8,000. So that's less than the siege monster, but it's a ranged attacker and it's very dangerous with its entrangling vineyards. So, and then it'll also show variable old one HP. Okay. After that, we're going to have when I receive old one spawn, old one spawn, then I'll go to this position, pick random show, and then it will not repeat until touch the player. It'll just point towards player because the old one does not move. There we go. And we will have, alright, so when I receive start game forever, if score is greater than 1,250, then it'll broadcast old one spawn, and it'll stop the script. Good. So now we will have this old one dead script. So let's actually do this. So let's actually work on this first because this one actually broadcasts the old one dead. So when I receive old one spawn forever, if touching projectile on hero select is equal to 1, it'll change old one HP minus 180, broadcast delete arrow, and then if it's less than, it'll change score by 500. Instead of broadcasting siege monster dead, it'll broadcast old one dead. Old one dead. So if touching projectile on hero select is equal to 2, it'll change old one minus 250, and then we'll just change this to old one dead. And then if it's touching projectile and hero select is equal to 3, then it'll change old one HP minus 350, Fairy Queen stronger, and then it will broadcast old one dead. Just like that. And then first ability, hero select equal to 2, the same thing, old one dead. Same thing for this one, just old one dead. You can just change it like that. Old one dead. And that's the same for the second ability, hero select equal to 2, it will old one dead. And then after that, for the apprentice's star, hero select equal to 2, it will broadcast old one dead. And let's continue. And if it's touching second ability and hero select equal to 3, it'll change old one HP to minus 100. If old one HP is equal to 0, old one HP is less than 0, 500, and then old one dead. So since the old one can't move, the shield is not affected. So the shield does nothing against him. So you actually need to delete this third ability thing. So if it's touching player, then I'll set hit player old. So each one do different damage values. We have to make a new variable for each group. So hit player old. It'll set hit player old to Y, broadcast hit player, and it will not move negative 10 steps back. Because that would just be really bad. You're just moving negative 10 steps back. So now we can change this. So when I receive old one dead, it will broadcast do all this, and there we go. Alright, let's move on to the old one's Vineyard. The Vineball. This is where the old one shoots these huge projectiles at the enemy. And first of all, I think it's about the same code as really the projectile. So let's just move this all into the Vineball. We don't need any of this, but so we have this over here. So when I receive old one dead, it will actually, so we need parts of this code. It will repeat 100 times, so it can shoot up to 100 vine balls. If you don't kill them by then, it'll stop shooting vine balls, but it'll wait 3 seconds. Wait 3 seconds. And then after that, it will show, and it will go to old one. So we need this. Go to old one. The old one. And then after that, it'll point towards player. It'll shoot in the player direction. Point towards player. And then it'll repeat until touching edge or player. So, or touching edge or touching player. It'll move 30 steps. Oh, move 10 steps. I made it a little slower. So it's easier to dodge. And then it'll hide after that. And it will go to old one. Old one. The old one. There we go. We don't need none of this. Alright. So when the green flag is clicked, it will go to old one. Go to old one. The old one. The old one. Okay, and it'll hide. And then when I receive, zoom in a little bit. When I receive old one dead, then it will hide. And then it'll stop all the scripts in the sprite. So let's get the stop all the scripts in the sprite right over here. Here. And then now, when the green flag is clicked, forever, if then, touching player, then it will change lives by -30. So just 30 damage, which is pretty decent. I mean, yeah. And that, because it's ranged anyway. Alright, so let's move on to the Vineyard. This is what the old one spawns out to kill the enemies by poison damage and changes the color effect. So let's do this. So when the green flag is clicked, it will hide. It'll go to x150 -27, and it'll go to the back layer. Go to back layer. Then when the green flag is clicked, forever, it will forever, if then touching player, then it will actually, if touching player, then it will change the lives by -5. So the base damage is 5, but it also has poison damage, so that's also really strong, even if you're not on the Vineyard. Change the life by -5. It'll wait 0.5 seconds, so 5 damage every 0.5 seconds. And then now, when I receive old one dead, then it will hide, stop other scripts in the sprite, and now we have to do the old one spawn part. So stop other scripts in the sprite. All right, and now let's add the when I receive old one spawn, then it will repeat 100 times. So it's the capability of spawning 100 times. Then it will go to X. So this is a pick random position. So it will go to X. We need 2 pick randoms, or you can just pick random. Let's do this -100 to 200. That's the position, and then let's duplicate that. Let's put it. Put 1 in the X, put 1 in the Y, but instead change this to 100 so it doesn't go all the way up. And then it'll show. It will wait 5 seconds, and then it'll hide. So that is essentially the Vineyard code. So now let's go back to the player and see how that works. So let's go back to the player. Also, we'll add the old one damage after, and the peon damage. Under here, we have if then. So under the show, if then, touching Vineyard, then it'll repeat 5. It will change color effect by 25. It will change lives by -5. -5. Then it'll wait 0.4 seconds. So wait 0.4 seconds, change color effect, change lives. Then it'll clear graphic effects after. So under here. Alright, so let's add the peon damage and the siege and the old one damage. So let's duplicate this, put it under here, and if hit player peon equals Y, so peons will do -30 damage. That's actually really strong, I'm not gonna lie. And then now let's duplicate that again. And if hit player old one equals Y, old one is -120. Doesn't matter, if you get into him anyway, you're gonna die anyway. So let's duplicate these two. So and then set hit player peon to N, and then hit player old. There we go. So now let's work on the Zombie King. Actually, let's do the Mysterious Man first, because that comes in order before the Zombie King. So let's do Mysterious Man. So when the green flag is clicked, the Mysterious Man is pretty much a necessity. So when it'll go to X, this position, then it'll go to front layer. Then it'll switch costume to costume 2. Then it'll show. And then it'll hide. Sorry. Then when I receive old one dead, so after when you beat the old one, it'll give you some heals, so then you can fight the wicked Zombie King. Then it'll wait 4 seconds. It'll switch costume to costume 2, which is this one. So he comes in and he gives you some medicine. Switching costume 2, it'll show. It'll wait 0.5 seconds. Then it'll switch costume to costume 1. Switch costume to costume 1. Then it will say, you'll need this for the wicked Zombie King. And then after that, it'll switch costume to costume 3. It will say, take some heals for 1 second, and it would change lives by 1,000. So of course you can alter this amount, if you want it more challenging. Honestly, I would say I'd recommend making it more challenging, because 1,000 is a lot of health. And then it will say poof. for 1 second. And I'll switch costume back to costume 2, which is the poof, and it will hide. And that's the mysterious man code. So now let's work on the Zombie King. So the Zombie King essentially will be taking a lot of code from the Siege Monster, because it's pretty related to the Siege Monster, because it can also summon peons. So let's also just drag them all in quickly. So like that. The big one. Get this one. And then the Siege Monster spawn. So let's put them all over here. Yeah, very crowded. Let's just move some of these around. Alright, so let's get to work. So when the green, click switch on costume 1 hide, and then of course we need to change this from Siege Monster HP to Zombie King HP. So it'll hide variable Zombie King HP when I receive King Spawn. So we need to make a new message, King Spawn. Then it will go to X, yeah, that position, and they'll show, and then forever repeat until touching player, yeah, move 0.1 steps. So, and then I also need, when I receive King Spawn, so we're going to change this to King Spawn, it will show variable Zombie King HP, and then instead it has the capability to repeat 12 times. It'll wait 8 seconds, it'll switch costume to costume 2, so, and then it will broadcast Death Ray. So it's actually summon the peons now, so put those up there, and then it'll broadcast Death Ray. Death Ray. And this is where he steals your HP and uses it for himself. And then it will wait 1 second and switch costume back to costume 1. Costume 2. Oh no. Yeah, so it's kind of cramped. So this is actually going to be costume. So I may have actually deleted costume 2 when I was making the first project. So let's actually drag that in from the backpack. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry, but I now have costume 2 duplicated in my thing. So, oh gosh. Let's make a new costume. Let's duplicate it onto here. Oh. Yeah, so this is costume 2. So let's just drag it up here. This is costume 2, where he's hitting the shield and creating the lines. I'm sorry if I told you to delete that in the first part, but we actually need that for the animation. So if you go to my project, and you could just take the costume from there. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So yeah, we do need this costume. Or you can just draw it yourself. It's pretty easy. Just get the costume 1, move the sword like that to hit the shield, and then draw 2 little red lines. So when I receive King Spawn, it'll show variable Zombie King HP, repeat 12, and then switch costume to costume 2, broadcast Death Ray, broadcast summon peons, wait 1 second, and switch costume to costume 1. So let's continue here. So when I receive King Spawn, then it will so Zombie King HP to 15,000, pretty strong. Touching player, wait 0.5 seconds, and then when I receive start game, if score is greater than 2,000, then show and then broadcast King Spawn. Okay, and now when I receive, we actually have to add this beam touched thing. So this is what happens in the Death Ray. So when I receive beam touched, or that's from the Death Ray. So let's actually code that last. So let's do the big script after this one. So when I receive King Spawn, it will do all that. Switch costume to costume 3, and there we go. So now let's code this big stop. when I receive king spawn, then forever if touching projectile, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and then it will change score. Oh, it won't change any score because it won't change any score. So let's actually make a new message. King dead. Actually, this is king dead. I'm so sorry. King dead. So it'll do all that when he dies. And then we have one broadcast king dead, and if touching projectile, blah blah blah, it will broadcast king dead again. And then same with this one. Broadcast king dead. Not king spawn, king dead. And then first ability of hero selected 1, it will blah blah blah, broadcast king dead, won't change any score. And then second ability, hero selected as 1, broadcast king dead, just like that. And then second ability, hero selected is equal to -60, broadcast king dead. So it's pretty repetitive here. And then it'll change zombie king blah blah blah, and then it'll take out the score and then broadcast king dead. And then now if it's touching second ability and hero selected as a 3, it'll change zombie king HP and then broadcast king dead, take out the score. And then if it's touching third ability and hero selected as 3, it'll actually move -25 steps back. It'll keep on changing the zombie king HP, and just like that we have king dead again. So if it's touching the player, then it'll set hit player king, to make a new one, hit player king, and then it'll set hit player king to Y and broadcast hit player, and it'll move -10 steps back. Now let's add this onto the player. So go to the player. Oops, sorry, I don't know why. And then we'll go to player, and then it will set hit player king to Y, or change lives by -680. So it's basically a death wish. If you want to go right into there and fairy escape, you're gonna die automatically, basically. And then it'll set hit player king to N, and there we go. And now let's move on to the death ray. I think we're going to stop here for now today and code the death ray in the next part because the video is getting quite long. So anyway, please like, share, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below what else games that you want. And I'll see you guys next time.